You asked a question. Allow the witness to answer the question.
She's not
the
answering
witness
the question.
The witness did not even have a nanosecond answer your question.
Point of order.
Standing up to his corruption.
So let me now speak about housing. Voting and their purported scheme on housing. Actually, I believe that your votes are very relevant.
There has to be, you have to stop interrupting.
Yeah.
Stop interrupting.
Why Canadians and your own housing agency has no faith in your government to meet the target.
Point of order.
What this proves is that the Conservatives do not want to actually listen to the answers.
Not
the
a
point of order is, excuse me, I have listened to you interrupt the minister and not allow her to speak. I have the right to make a point of order. Now I'm being interrupted and heckled during my point of order. Please, Chair, please, I'm asking you on to the questions that I put to you, and this is a point of order. Now I'm being heckled and interrupted.
It's not a
during
point of
my
order.
point of
This
order.
is a breach of process.
This is.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
The witnesses have.
Okay.
I will move on.
MP Lawrence and MP
Chair,
Hallan.
this is descended so badly now that I'm being interrupted during my point of order.
Yes. Okay. Members, first off, stop the crosstalk, okay? Stop the crosstalk. Crosstalk, that is with screaming, that is with not having respect and decorum here in this room. I think that is what we want.
Point of order.
Yeah, we are looking for respect and decorum. Point of order.
Please don't crosstalk. And I raised my voice at a reasonable tone, and you did not recognize it last meeting. So that's why I have to raise my voice, because I'm hoping you'll hear me, Chair.
I can hear you, MP Lawrence.
Chair, with respect, I'd like to move on to my next question. And that's why after your government spent $89 billion on photo-op funds for housing promises that have not been actualized, rents, mortgages, the amount of down payment needed on a house has all doubled in just 8 years. This was never there before your government, and it certainly won't be there afterwards. Canadians are living in a housing hell and a cost of living crisis. 2 million Canadians are going into a food bank in a single month just in 8 years. There's a 100% increase in food bank usage. A third of those kids are kids that are starving because of high taxes like the carbon tax and other factors that were caused by your government. The number one reason for food bank usage is because of the housing unaffordability that your government has created. 10 cities across this country, there are nurses living in their cars, there are students living under bridges. That's 8 years after your government. Why should anyone believe that anything that your government has done is actually helping addressing the affordability crisis?
Thank you for the question. Let me just start by saying Canadians know the Conservatives cannot be trusted when it comes to protecting the most vulnerable people in Canada. Since we formed government, 2.3 million Canadians have been lifted out of poverty, and our government has particularly. I'm sorry, Mr. Hallan. I'm speaking about poverty in Canada, which you purport to care about and which you purport to have addressed in your question. And I'd like to finish my answer, please.
It was about food banks.
The Canada Child Benefit has had a huge impact on Canadian families and is having an impact today, lifting millions and millions out of poverty, and the statistics show that. Our early learning and child care program
Minister,
is helping
the question
Canadians.
Was clear. I'll have to move on because I have a limited amount of time.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You haven't given me a chance to answer, and that is not only rude,
2 million
it's
Canadians are
inappropriate
still going
at
into
committee.
food bank. I'll just ask my last question because my time is limited. Your government promised by Thanksgiving that the price of food would go down. A scathing report came out this morning on the food index saying that food costs are going up, driven up also by your carbon tax because you're taxing farmers and those that are shipping the food and storing the food. Those people going into a food bank are increasing because of food costs and housing costs caused by your government. 83% actually that are going to food banks are working families. That's a phenomenon that we've never seen in this country before. So you promised on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving went by, food prices didn't come down. We thought maybe you meant the U.S. Thanksgiving. That went by as well. Nothing happened. It's almost Christmas time, and there's literally kids in this country asking Santa not for gifts, but just for food that they could put on their table. On what date will food prices actually come down so Canadians can afford to eat? And when will you axe the tax so people can put food on their table and heat their homes?
So let me just be clear. I've been repeatedly interrupted, and what we see is that Conservatives are interested in posturing. They're not interested in asking actual questions. But let me be clear. Canadians know that Conservatives only believe in cuts, cuts, particularly for the most vulnerable among us. And that is why our government is so committed to supporting the most vulnerable, to supporting children. 2.3 million Canadians lifted out of poverty. The Canada Child Benefit, money directly for the most vulnerable children in our country. And when it comes to housing, the purported subject of this meeting, let me just be clear that the Conservative purported scheme actually would go backwards on housing. It would actually put the GST back on the construction of rental housing that we need. This is not a scheme. This is putting Canada into reverse, when actually what we need to do is build more homes faster.
Thank you, Minister. The time is up now, and so just on the timing, as members know, each party has 6 minutes. If a question is asked when there's like 5.5 minute mark or 5:40, and the witness then is answering, the time will go over the 6 minutes. And that is as we have the practice that we have kept here in this committee, and that's what we will continue to keep doing unless the members decide otherwise.